everyone, and welcome to another episode of Permission To. As many of you may know, I am currently on maternity leave, but I really didn't want to put the podcast on hold. So I have actually handed over Permission to the beautiful Lucy Ann Lewis. So she is going to be a co-host for a couple of months while I am on leave. Lucy is one of the mentor coaches in Permission Granted and a dear client and a dear friend. And I know that I am leaving you in really good hands. This is also an example of what I'm all about, which is receiving support and trusting others. So I am placing my trust in Lucy, and I know that she is going to be a beautiful co-host for while I'm on leave. So enjoy this next episode. You're listening to Permission To, the podcast where we dive into the science and soul of owning your worthiness as a perfectly imperfect human being. I'm your host, Sam Dew, psychotherapist, positive psychology coach, mama to a beautiful 5-year-old Amelie, and passionate advocate for living an inspired life. My aim is to show you that you have full permission to own your worthiness so that you can embrace your true nature and begin walking boldly toward your dreams. Let's dive in.
Morgan is an integrative nutrition graduate turned wholesome habits coach who is passionate about switching the focus from losing weight to gaining health and happiness. She believes that food is life's greatest pleasure and that it should be enjoyed and not a source of stress or guilt. Same. After her own struggles with food intolerances, body image issues, and a poor relationship with food, Morgan has made it her mission to help other women repair their relationship with food and their own bodies through a compassionate and empowering approach to coaching. Hi, Morgan. Welcome.
Hi, Lucy. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for agreeing to come and have a little chat for me for Sam's podcast.
Oh, my absolute pleasure.
To start off with, why don't you tell us about Morgan a few years ago? Like, where were you at and what led you to sign up to Permission Granted?
Well, it depends how many years ago we're talking here, because I feel like Morgan a few years ago has been a bit of a roller coaster. So many years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, she was very not okay. Maybe 3 years ago, she was doing better. 1 year ago, she was back to being not okay. So it's been a bit of a all over the shop. But I suppose where I was at the start of this year, just before I signed up for Permission Granted with Sam, was just not great in a nutshell. Like, I had just moved states. Everyone's had a pretty spicy 2 years with everything that's going on in the world. But I'd moved states. I'd left behind all of the friends that I'd made as an adult. I had a pretty average partner. I was working a job that had me crying most nights. Just a very unempowered little human being. And then I think it was March that Permission Granted started. Was it?
Yeah.
And within a week, I had found Sam, spoken to Sam, signed up for Permission Granted, got started, and it's been like a complete 180 since then.
Amazing. What's the journey been like for you? Like, how are you feeling now compared to how you were feeling when you signed up? Like, what's changed?
Not to be dramatic, but everything.
No, total drama. Do it. I'm here for the drama.
I did say this to Sam on one of our calls recently, that like, it sounds super dramatic and it sounds like, holy shit, everything has changed, but everything has changed. I went from being, like I said, like in a bad relationship, in a bad work situation. I just moved home, so I was living with my parents temporarily. And after 10 years of not living with your parents, it's very hard to live with your parents again. And I was in a place where every time I would talk to my best friend who lives in the other state, I'd be like, I'm so sorry that I have nothing positive to say to you. Like, I love you and I love our chats, but I have such a negative outlook right now. And now I work a job that I love, that I never even thought was a job, that would pay you money, let alone good money. I live with a very beautiful human and a very beautiful cat, and I'm very happy to wake up here every day. I have never been more comfortable on my own, by myself, in my own wonderful company. Like literally everything. I wake up happy every day, and it's little things, but I'm just filled with joy every day. And considering like 6 months ago, 9 months ago, I was so upset.
Yeah. It's
like,
such a massive transformation to have in such a short space of time, right?
Yep. It's been a big year.
Yeah. And you say like it's little things, but it is the little things. It's all the little things that add up to make the big thing, right? So it's all those little bits of joy throughout your day now that you have that make your overall life happy.
It's honestly the little things that I'm the happiest about. Like my morning coffee. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, same. Like, same girl. Yeah.
Like I moved back to Queensland, so walking in the sun of an afternoon, like it's the little things that make me so happy now. And I'm like, oh my God, how did I not see that this is fantastic? I think that's why I love food so much as well, because it's an everyday thing that I take so much joy in.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the best. It is the best. Food is magic, and you cannot tell me otherwise.
No, I wouldn't try. I wouldn't dare. I'm personally offended by people that do.
You know, obviously I'm all for like anti-diet and like body acceptance, and like I really love your approach to cooking and eating. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that and your journey, like why wholesome habits?
Yeah. So for pretty much my entire adult life, my life has revolved around food. And in the beginning, that was in a super negative way. So a super restrictive way, a super disordered eating way. And that has evolved over the years. I think it went from like genuinely a very, very bad relationship with food to what I thought was a good relationship with food, but was definitely like, I think it's called like orthorexia, like where you
obsess over.
Like, you can only eat healthy food, to now where I'm obsessed with food in the best way possible. Like I love that shit. And I love making other people love it too. I think recently it came to it became apparent to me that not everyone goes and does a little dance when they're eating their food.
What?
Why? Like that's how I feel when I eat now. Like I'm like, damn, this is good.
Yeah.
And like it good for you in different ways. I suppose like I have an approach that most food is functional and not in like in no way a scientific way. It's functional to me for like Sam likes it when I say this, but like I eat vegetables because I know that they're good for my body, and I eat hot chips because they're super good for my soul.
Yes.
Like every time I eat, it's for a function.
Yes.
And that function isn't necessarily like 100, like that strict health thing. It's to make me feel good. Absolutely.
Yes. I love it. And that's, you know, why like all food has a place in life, right? Like, you know, absolutely. Like, yes, sure. You know, probably, you know, only eating cupcakes is not going to get you very far, but eating cupcakes along with all the other stuff that you eat as well, like is going to bring you so much joy, because how fucking good are cupcakes, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's like, it's just a common sense thing as well. Like I know that salmon and vegetables is better for my health than a Big Mac, but it's being able to eat them all in, like, I don't like to be like moderation is key, but to eat them all in moderation, because I find, well, personally what I found over the years is stressing about the food that I think is bad ends up being worse for me than the food itself. Like the what I do to like the tension in my body, what I'm doing to my digestion by thinking about that and letting it like have such a hold over me.
Yeah.
So much worse than the food itself. If you eat the food, you go like, I'm going to enjoy this.
Yes.
Probably not eat it for every single meal, but I'm just going to goddamn enjoy this because this is what I want right now.
And it stops
It's
like
such a huge change.
I know one of the things that comes up with some of my clients is like they're so afraid that like if they let themselves start to like eat ice cream, for example, that they won't stop. And it's like a bit of a paradox, because sure, when you start like letting yourself eat ice cream again, if you haven't let yourself eat it, yeah, you might eat a lot of it and you might feel like you're never going to stop.
Yep.
But eventually it's like, oh, I can have ice cream every day. Do I actually want to eat ice cream every day? No. And so you only have it when you feel like it. But it's like getting over that like sort of hurdle of like
the huge fear
of like letting that food in, right? Like,
yeah. And it's also because like as a society we've been told like this food is bad, you should be scared of it.
Yeah.
And we are. And like that's not to our detriment, that's to society's detriment. Like that's how we've been conditioned. And logically you're probably not going to actually drown yourself in ice cream. Like you're not going to eat it until you can't stop eating it. Like it's about like finding that trust in yourself again.
Yeah.
Because we know
that, yeah, it is. It's funny. It's interesting because my dad said to me the other day, like, I notice that you don't always clear your plate. Like I notice that sometimes you leave food behind. I'm like, yeah, because I'm full. But like 10 years ago, that wouldn't have happened. Like if I was eating a delicious chocolate brownie, you'd better believe that like I finished that chocolate brownie, even if it made me feel sick to finish the entire thing. Whereas now, and it's just relearning to trust your body, right? Now I can easily leave half a brownie and not feel bad about it.
Because you've enjoyed it. Whereas my journey is kind of like the opposite end of that plate spectrum. Whereas 10 years ago, I would have had to have left food on that plate. Otherwise, I would have felt like a failure. Like I would have felt like I've overindulged. Like I have to leave some to show that like I'm not eating this whole plate. This morning, I literally licked the egg, like the hollandaise and egg gravy kind of like mixture that had formed on my plate, off my plate.
Yeah.
Because it's delicious.
Love it.
I regret nothing about that.
No, why would you? So tell us, like, if someone, say someone's listening to this podcast and like, oh, I really want to try to not feel like guilty when it comes to food, or like, you know, where would you start? Where would you start creating a wholesome habit? What's your biggest tip?
So this one is a big, broad one, but I think for me, the starting point is figuring out why you want to, like why you want to create a habit, why you want to change a habit. Like if you're looking to create a habit where you want to wake up at 4 a.m. every single morning and go to CrossFit, all well and good, but why do you want to do that? Do you want to do that because you think you have to, because you have to lose weight? Or do you genuinely want to do that because that's going to fill you with joy and vibrance? Like you need to assess that, like assess what you want to achieve. Like, would you be more likely to stick to that goal if you said, I'm going to wake up every morning and do 15 minutes of stretching or Pilates, or just like move my body mindfully once a day? Like, is that goal slightly more aligned with you? Is that something that is because you want to do something nice for yourself, or is it because you're trying to punish yourself? Because we're a lot more likely to stick to the goals that actually feel good in our body. Like if you're punishing yourself day in, day out to create something, you're going to fall off that wagon because you want to fall off that wagon.
Yeah. I guess it's like the kind of thing that we explored in Permission Granted is like letting go of that should.
Should's a good one.
Yeah.
Such a good one.
Like, you know, everyone else is getting up at 4 o'clock and going to the gym, so then I should too. But actually that might not be right for you.
No, I saw a good post the other day, and it was something along the lines of like, have you considered that your like workout plan or diet plan, you can't stick to it because you hate it?
Yeah. Yes. So simple. But it's like, hang on, I didn't think of that.
Yeah. Wild. So wild.
How has the journey you've been through in Permission Granted and the kind of things that we've learned inside that beautiful nurturing container helped you with your wholesome habits?
The biggest thing that it's helped me with is learning to celebrate myself. So I had previously just been rushing through life being like, okay, done this next. Okay, done this next. Like, Sam got me to slow down, shut up, and like reflect on what I've actually achieved and like what I do in my day-to-day and the things that I can do and celebrate them. And now I love celebrating myself for little things.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, I did this. Hot damn. Go me. That's amazing. Like, I even reflected on the last few years and the things that I've achieved in the last few years. Because like when I had moved home, I'd left a business behind because I actually ran a cafe in Melbourne. I'd left a lot of things behind. I'm like, oh, great, I'm starting from scratch. Now I am a failure. But the work that we've been doing in Permission Granted got me to slow down, look back and be like, no, holy shit, you owned a cafe at like 26 years of age. Like, you've done a bunch of really cool shit. And you should like yourself a lot more for that than you do. Like, you should pat yourself on the back a little bit. And now I kind of take that into my everyday a little bit more.
Yes.
Rather than, oh no, I didn't go to the gym today. I'm like, oh, but I went for a walk. How nice is that? Good on me.
Yeah.
Just little things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. I really, I love celebrating myself as well. And I'm a big advocate for that because, and I think particularly as women as well, like we're never supposed to really, you know, talk about ourselves or talk about the things that we're good at or that we're, you know, that we've accomplished.
Yeah, God forbid we like ourselves.
Yeah. No.
Industries would crumble.
Don't be silly. How dare we?
Ridiculous.
How dare we like be really good at something and be really proud that we're really good at something and tell people about that we're really good at something.
And brag about it a little.
Yeah. I love bragging. I think we should all brag more than we do because like if you had a big win at something, like I want to hear about it. And because I want to celebrate you too, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's the other thing I've taken from Sam is celebrating others as well and being like, oi, what you've done is great.
And that's what I love about like Sam is just so good at like calling in such beautiful, big-hearted women. And that's the bit that I love the most about the calls is that we all get to an opportunity to celebrate each other.
Well, it was for a little while there the only place I was celebrating anything. So I would get so excited for our calls because I was like, oh, I've got this to say, this to say, this to say. And I'm so excited to share it with these women because I know that they care and will be excited for me. Whereas like other parts of my life, I was still learning to be like, hey, this is really great, don't you think?
Yes.
But the women in Permission Granted are like absolute cheerleaders. It's so nice.
Yeah.
And like I've done a lot of group programs and like a million different coaches and like I've been in personal development stuff for like the last decade, and this is the first one where I've actually felt super comfortable and held. And like I think it's just Sam as well, like
totally,
she is a human hug.
That is the best way to describe her. Like honestly, a human hug. Yeah, she just she's just so nurturing, and like her gentle accountability, as she calls it, and just the way that she brings people together is just, it's so beautiful. And yeah, you really do feel so held throughout. I mean, you know, even though like it's a long, like 10 months is a long time, one, it doesn't feel like it's super, well, it didn't for
Not
me
long enough.
anyway. And you just feel like I felt just so held this year with, and not just Sam, but all of the women inside the container.
I'm so grateful for the women that I've met in the last 10 months, because like you and all the other ladies are just chef's kiss, like so nice and so different as well.
Yeah, totally.
Like, everyone is a completely different personality, and it's so nice and so refreshing, but we all care.
And isn't it interesting though that even though we're all so different and we all do different things and have like different careers, and you know, some of us are mums and some of us aren't, but we can all relate, because all of us at some point have been through the same or similar things, and so we can all relate to each other and all understand how each other's feeling.
And there's absolutely no tall poppy syndrome. There's no like competition or like obviously no tearing each other down, that would be awful, but like that's out there a lot in the world. And it's so nice to be part of a group of women who genuinely want to build the other women up, because sometimes that's not the case, and that sucks.
And genuinely want each other to succeed as well. Like it's like, you know, there's a lot of that sort of lack out there. It's like, well, if you have got it, that means I can't have it, when actually
can't have it.
There's room for everyone to have it. There's enough for everyone.
We can all have it. There is heaps.
Yeah.
I did take the opportunity to do a little bit of one-on-one work with her throughout the year as well. And it's stuff that I knew I already needed to do, but the way that Sam held me accountable in her gentle accountability way means I actually finally did it. Like I've had a coaching qualification for quite a while now, and I'd been meaning to post like, hey, I do this for so long, and Sam is the thing that finally pushed me over the edge to do it.
Like
she got me to do the thing.
I can totally relate to that. I am pretty much the same. Like this was my second go through permission granted, and it's like when I said to Sam, like, I'm finally doing it, like I'm finally moving into body acceptance, it was like, finally. It's like, I've been wanting you to, she didn't say so many words, but the implication was, it's like, I've been waiting for you to discover that. And finally you have. And it's just you feel safe to explore and do those things when you know, like, Sam's got your back, right? You're
supported.
So what would you say to the listener out there that's contemplating joining Permission Granted? What would you tell them about joining Permission Granted?
Well, obviously, absolutely do it. It's changed my 2021 for the better. I think when I had signed up as well, I don't think I had a job. I was just about to quit my job. So I was like, oh God, I cannot afford this, but I'm absolutely just going to make this work. Just make it work. This is such a nice container for being held and supported, and whether or not it's business or life or just like having a community, it's such a nice space to be in. And I'm so grateful.
I would second all of that. Totally.
I have become, in the nicest and least creepy way possible, obsessed with Sam and working with Sam now. So once
it's
you're
very
in,
easy to do.
You're in.
Yes. Once you have a bit of Sam in your life, it's very hard to let it go, because she is just such a wonderful human.
Well, I try to picture like going through the motions of next year and not being able to be like, hey Sam, I've done this, I'm like, oh no, absolutely not. So I'm signing up again.
Oh, great. Well, there you go. Yeah. So if you are thinking about signing up to Permission Granted, Morgan will be inside. And I'm the support coach inside as well. So you will get a bit of both of us in there. So there you go. If that's not reason enough to sign up, I don't know what is.
Sold.
Yeah, awesome. So tell us a bit more about how people can find out more about you and how to work with you, and if you've got any exciting things coming up for the end of the year or next year.
So I am on Instagram as wholesome.as.fk.
We'll put all your links in the show notes as well. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm not sure what the policy on swearing on a podcast is, but if it's part of my name, go for it. So that I am like, my brand is wholesome as fuck.
I love it.
Because that kind of is just me. Like, I'm wholesome. I drink my water. I do my little exercises. I eat my vegetables, but I also swear a little bit too much. I'm extremely realistic, and I'm an absolute smart ass, but hopefully in a very nice way.
Yeah.
So I am I'm doing one-on-one coaching at the moment. I've opened up 2 more spaces during the week that I'm super excited about. And I'm, for the rest of the year, really just focusing on creating some really delicious recipes for the holidays, because I feel like this is like peak cooking for people.
Yeah.
Impressing people with your cooking skills time, being told that you shouldn't have too much food time. And I am not here for that. So I will be here for delicious recipes that you enjoy cooking and enjoy eating.
Sounds
because it is the season.
Yeah.
So that is my my main focus for the rest of the year, and also just kind of supporting people during this time, because I know it can be a not very nice time for some people, best time of the year, but for others it can not be a very nice time of the year, especially around like food and socializing as well. So I'm gonna be spending a lot of my time trying to support people in that, because it's a nice time of the year. You don't deserve to have people commenting on your food or your body or your choices.
Yeah,
so
totally. Yeah,
I will be doing anti that.
Yes, amazing. So just helping people hold their boundaries around that. Hey, yeah, I do a lot of that around this time of the year as well.
And also, yes, which I absolutely love. I think I'm just trying to like counter any of the negative energy flying around. So for every negative comment received, I will be screaming a positive one at the top of my lungs.
Yes, I love it.
Lovingly and aggressively.
That is the best way to put it. I love it. Lovingly and aggressively. Lovingly aggressive.
Yeah, I actually get that kind of response to a lot of my stories. People are like, oh wow, that was really aggressive. I'm like, yes, but in the most loving way possible. Like, I'm trying to love the crap out of you.
I love it. Have you got anything else that you would like to tell us about today? Whether it's about wholesome habits or about permission granted or just life in general?
Well, firstly, thank you for having me. It's been absolutely bloody lovely. I think my to leave on a high, we all deserve to feel good about ourselves and enjoy food, because this thing literally keeps us alive.
Right.
So you have to eat it anyway. So you may as well start enjoying it.
Yeah.
I wasted a lot of years
around it, right?
Yeah, there's like, it's literally, that's worse for you. Yeah. The guilt is worse. I spent too much of my life missing out on things, missing out on good food, missing out on having a good relationship with myself. So now we're enjoying the food.
Yeah.
We're enjoying life. And I think that's one of my main focuses, is making sure people stop spending their entire time worrying about food and worrying about their weight and start worrying about enjoying their bloody lives.
Yes. Love it. Could not agree
Thank
more.
you, Lucy.
It has been an absolute joy and pleasure to talk to you today. So thank you so much for having a chat with me for Sam's beautiful podcast.
Oh, it's been my absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. This has been so much fun.
I'm so pleased. And yeah, we will see you on the socials and inside Permission Granted 2022.
My favorite place to be.
Mine too, honestly. Thanks, Morgan.
Oh, thank you, Lucy.